Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Om Namo Bhagavate
Prabhuji, you are breaking.
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke
Prabhuji, you are breaking.
Is it better now?
Yes, yes.
I'll keep the video off since the bandwidth is low, so maybe only the audio can work better, I guess. Is the audio okay now?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, so let's read from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Canto 9, chapter 4, entitled Ambarîsha Offended by Durvâsâ. We are reading this chapter, talking about one of the sons of Manu named Nabhaga. Nabhag's son was Nabhaga. Like Hare Krishna, I think I lost the connection. Yeah, in the last few verses we were talking about that how Nabhaga's brothers they their father. In short, the brothers did not want it to give some money, rupees, property, but rather said they thought the father as a burden and said, okay, you take the father and take care of him. So let's see what happens further. Tam kaschat स्वीकरिष्यन्तं पुरुषा कृष्णदर्शना वाचोत्तरतो भ्येत् ममेदं वास्तुकं वसु. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Thereafter, while Nabhaga was accepting the riches, a black-looking person from the north came to him and said, all this belongs to me. So I think in the previous few verses we discussed about this point that Nabhaga's father told him that you go to this place where they are performing Vedic hymns and yagyas, and they will give you the remnants they have received from the sacrifice. So therefore go, and Nabhag exactly acted according to the advice of the father, and the great sages of the dynasty gave him the wealth and then went to heavenly planets. In short, Nabhaga got a lot of wealth, but suddenly this personality looking like a black person came from the north and said, hey, this is not yours. this wealth from the sacrifice arena belongs to me. So quite interesting. And let's see what happens in this conversation. Did Nabhaga give him the wealth? Did he fight with him? Or let's see what happens. Text number 7. Anyone wants to read? People probably want to read.
Text 7. Mamedam rishibir dattam iti tarhi sma manobha shiyannate pitari prashna prishtavan pitaram jatha. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Nabhaga then said, "These riches belong to me. The great saintly persons have delivered them to me." When Nabhaga said this, the black-looking person replied, "Let us go to your father and ask him to settle our disagreement." In accordance with this, Nabhaga inquired from his father. Sri Krishna Prabhu, back to you.
Hare Krishna. So here, Nabhaga was innocent. That was, that is certainly reflected here, and in the previous verses also, that Nabhaga, they gave him the share, and then they gave the father. He said, okay, he gladly accepted the father. He didn't say, well, give me some wealth also, give me some land also, some cows also. How will I, sustain myself? He didn't say all that. He said, okay, you give me this share, that's fine. Now here also, innocently, this black person said, well, let us go to your father, right? Because these people, these saintly persons have given it to me. But when this black person said that, let's go and then let's see whether they went to the father, Nabhaga, or settle this disagreement, because one is claiming that it is and the other is claiming it's his. So text 8, people probably want to.
Shri Hare Krishna devotees, downward pranam. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. Text 8. Yagna vastu gatam sarvam ussistam rasyat kaschit chukurhi bhagam rudraya sadevo sarvam arhati. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Vijay. The father of Nabhaga said, whatever the great sages sacrificed in the arena of Daksha Yagna, they offered to Lord Shiva as his share. Therefore, everything in the sacrificial arena certainly belongs to Lord Shiva. Back to Guruji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So look at the father also. Such an exemplary father. He didn't say that, well, you were there, you went first, and it belongs to you. He's and we have discussed this Daksha Yagya in multiple times, Canto 4, Canto 6. Also, we have spoken about Daksha. And whole Canto 4, first seven chapters talk about this Daksha Yagya, which was quite. The remnants of Yagya belong to, they are offered to Lord Shiva as his share. So it belongs to Lord Shiva. He didn't, part with, oh no, my son, it belongs to you. You should not give it to anyone. So let's see what happens this further. Manjulali, you want to read? Mahesh Prabhu, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhu, thank you. Dandavat Pranam devotees, text 9. Nabhagastam pranamyaha tavesha kilavastukam Pityaha me pita Brahman charasatvam prasadaye. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thereupon, after offering obeisance to Lord Shiva, Nabhaga said, O worshipper Lord, everything in this arena of sacrifice is yours. This is the assertion of my father. Now with the great respect, I bow my head before you, begging your mercy. So as you rightly said, Prabhu, his qualities of Nabhaga, once he clarified from his father Nabhaga that everything belongs to Lord Shiva, then immediately he here surrendering to the Lord Shiva and asking and begging his mercy. Thank you. Back to you, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So very nicely you mentioned these qualities of these great personalities like Nabhaga. And just look at let's put ourselves in that situation. This wealth was extraordinary. Imagine millions of dollars, gold coins, whatever. And the rishis gave to this person, but suddenly this black person says, well, it is mine. And he said, okay, let's clarify. He clarified, okay, it belongs to you, sorry. And bowed down and continued. So much, this only a person who has complete satisfaction, complete self-realization, holistic things, that person only can give up. He didn't quarrel with that person. At least give me half, at least give me 10%. He said, no, this belongs to you. It belongs to you. Okay. Happily, he gave everything. So what a sense of gratitude. What a sense of renunciation and detachment to materialistic things. Only one who has higher attachment to bhakti, to spiritual life, can have that spiritual detachment from matter. Okay, so let's see text number 10. None other than Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is also called Nilakantha. Sometimes Krishna is also called black, Ghaneshama, sometimes bluish black. So Lord Shiva is also as some pictures you may have seen, like he is putting bhasma, he's putting his throat is blue or bluish black. Nilakantha, because he's always chanting the names of that bluish blackish god, that is a Nila. That's the internal reason. The external reason is he drank the poison in the Samudra Manthan. But the real reason is that he's always chanting, meditating upon Lord Kṛṣṇa. Okay, yes, let's read the next verse, text 10. Yes, Paswati Mataji, you want to read?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam everyone. Text 10. Yatte pita vadat dharmam tvam cha satyam pravasase dadami te mantra drishya jnanam brahma sanatanam. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Lord Shiva said, whatever your father has said is the truth, and you also are speaking the same truth. Therefore, I, who know the Vedic mantras, shall explain transcendental knowledge to you. So Lord Shiva is telling Nabhaga that whatever he said is truth as his father. So therefore, Lord Shiva is delivering the transcendental knowledge to Nabhaga, the son of Manu. Back to you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. So, in Bhagavad Gita also we are reading that the qualification to receive being non-envious. Krishna also says that Arjuna, I'm giving you this knowledge because you are my friend and you are my devotee and you are non-envious. Anusuyava. Bhagavatam also we discussed this point. Nirmatsaranam. Those are simple, straightforward, no hypocrisy. He could have said that, well, my father told me that this wealth belongs to me, not to Lord Shiva. Or 50% he could have said a lie to by the allurement of such a big amount of money, gold coin, whatever that wealth was, right? You could have turned the story completely.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Simplicity and just make us dear in the eyes of Krishna and his dear devotees. So,
Prabhuji, you are breaking, can't hear anything.
Hare Krishna, can you hear me now?
Yes, Prabhu, we can hear you now.
Yeah, the screen has gone because I joined from the mobile phone. Okay, someone wants to read the next verse, text 11. Anyone who hasn't read today wants to read?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I can read.
Yes,
Hare
yes.
Krishna, all devotees. Text 11. Grahana dravinam datam mat shatra parisheshitam iti uktva antarhito rudro bhagavan dharma vatsalaha. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Lord Shiva said, "Now you may take all the wealth remaining from the sacrifice, for I give it to you." After saying this, Lord Shiva, who is most adherent to the religious principles, disappeared from that place. Back to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much, Bhataji. So basically, Lord Shiva was testing him. Because Lord Shiva, he does not need wealth. He is the one who can give unlimited wealth or so many other benedictions. But he was testing that how Nabhaga will react. So he kind of gave him his blessings, and we have also discussed that Lord Shiva gave him the transcendental knowledge as well, right? So he gave him the knowledge and the wealth, and then disappeared. Okay, let's read the next verse. Who would like to read? It's not yet read today. Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, Prabhuji. Horizontal words, Pranam, all greater Srila Prabhupada. Text 12. Ya etat samsaret pratho shayam cha sushmahata kavir bhavati mantrogno gotim chaivo tatha mana. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. If one hears and chants or remembers this narration in the morning and evening with great attention, he certainly becomes learned, experienced in understanding the Vedic hymns, and expert in self-realization. Back to Guruji.
Hare Krishna. So, very short and sweet narration of this Navbhaga, and this is the Falashruti here. Ya etat samsmaret, one who remembers this narration. Shayam cha sushamahitaha. Shayam means it's the evening time. How we should hear? With great attention. And then what will happen? Then one will become very learned in the Vedic mantras. What's the topmost of that? Is that one will get the knowledge of self-realization and become expert in self-realization, like Navbhaga, with the blessing of Lord Shiva and Shukadeva Goswami. So, very short, sweet, real story about Navbhaga, his father, his brothers, and then the meeting of Lord Shiva. So, let's see what happens further. Text 13. Anyone who has not yet read wants to read?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, I can read.
Yes, please.
Dandavat Pranam, text number 13. Nabhagat Ambarîsho Bhun Mahâ-Bhagavata Kruti Nasprushada Brahma Shaponi Yamna Pratihat Kvachit. Translation and purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Prabhu, can you scroll? Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Mataji, my computer is not working properly, so
Okay.
I think devotees should try to read from books.
Yeah. Hold on, Prabhu.
Read from here.
Hare Krishna. Sorry about the late. Translation. From Nabhaga, Mahârâja Ambarîsha took birth. Mahârâja Ambarîsha was an exalted devotee celebrated for his great merits. Although he was cursed by infallible Brahmana, the curse could not touch him. So here Prabhupada is giving the more detail about Mahârâja Ambarîsha birth, and his quality explained here. So thank you, Prabhu. Back to you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Can you please mute?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, can I pronounce? May I read?
Unmute. People Prabhu, can you please mute? Okay. Yeah, now it's better. So we'll be hearing this, the whole title of this chapter about Mahârâja Ambarîsha. We'll continue to hear about him. He's one of the great Mahajans. But how do such great personalities come? From the great heritage. So from Nabhaga came Ambarîsha Maharaj. And we have seen this wonderful qualities of Nabhaga here, who had the blessing of Lord Shiva, who had the spiritual mercy of from Lord Shiva, who was so subservient to his father, whose guru, so detached from the worldly wealth, and so attached to self-realization. When someone has that qualities, what will be the outcome? The outcome will be great progeny, like Maharaj Ambarîsha. So very, very important. Like father, like son, like it is said that the fruit does not fall far from the tree. So if the parents are wonderful devotees, the children will naturally become great devotees, even better. But if the parents follow a non-Vedic, non-Krishna conscious lifestyle, and then they expect the children to become great devotees, that will not happen. Maybe once in a rare scenario it may happen, but in most cases it won't happen, because children see example. So if parents are wonderful Vaishnavis, then it will manifest, those qualities will manifest in children as well. So yes, let's read the next verse. Yes, Kashish Mataji, you wanted to read?
Ji Prabhuji, please forgive, I interrupted in between. Hare Krishna, Dandatanam all devotees. Text number 14. Shri Raja Uvacha Bhagavad Shrotame Ichchami Rajarshishtasya Dhimatah Na Prabhudayat Nirmukto Brahmadando Duratyah. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. King Parikshit inquired, O great personality, Maharaj Ambarîsha was certainly most exalted and meritorious in character. I wish to hear about him. How surprising it is that the curse of Brahmana, which is insurmountable, could not act upon him. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much. Back to you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So it's the quality of great souls that they want to hear about great souls, right? So Parikshit Maharaj, who is a wonderful devotee, wants to hear about the great personality like Mahârâja Ambarîsha. And we have discussed this multiple times, that the curse of a Brahmana, is very, very powerful, right? That even in so many ways, so many devotees, so many people have been, when they get the curse of Brahmana, or curse of a devotee, or curse of which is often the blessing only. But we recently read this in 9.2. Anyone remembers that? We recently read this thing, this concept, that the curse could not act upon a great devotee.
Proceed, he was cursed by his guru Boshishta.
Yes. Yeah. And can you elaborate a little more why he was cursed and what happened and how it did act upon him?
Yeah, because he was assigned to take care of the cows, and at night there was a tiger attacked the cow, and there was, he blindly tried to kill the tiger, but instead he killed the cow, which was not fault. He didn't, but his guru was angry with him, so he cursed him. But he followed all the. He did the austerity. He did the worshipping of the Lord, and by that he actually came out of that curse.
Thank you. Anyone remembers what was the curse given?
Prabhuji, I remember he was cursed that you'll be born as a Shudra in the next life.
Yes. Thank you. But he did not have to take a next life because he was so intensely absorbed in pure Krishna consciousness, bhakti. And one who does complete bhakti, only no curse can act upon such a person. So same it was Ambarîsha Maharaj, where Durvâsâ Muni will read about this story. But Parikshit Maharaj is very inquisitive and wants to know about this personality, and so let's start hearing from the mouth of Shukdev Goswami. So would someone like to read these verses 15 and 16?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, similar can we say about the Bali Maharaj also?
Yeah, Bali Maharaj, we can say, well,
because he was also cursed by Shukracharya, no? And it's kind of a similar, that's what I thought.
Yes. One can say then the curse acted upon him because he lost everything. But then the other side, you also see that he did not lose everything, rather he gained a lot more. So, correct. So in short, the principle is same, that the curse will not act upon a pure devotee. And even if it acts, it's the arrangement of the Lord to show the greatness of that devotee. So, thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Okay, Canto Prabhu, you want to read this one?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I'll try.
Yeah, please.
Ambarîsho Mahabhagha Saptadvipa Vatam Mahim Avyayam Cha Shriyam Labdva Vibhavan Chatulam Bhuvi Mine Atidurlabam Pumsam Sarvam Tat Swapna Samstutam Vidwan Vibhava Nirvanam Tamo Vishayati Yat Puman. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Sukadev Goswami said, Ambarîsha Mahârâja, the most fortunate personality, achieved the rule of the entire world, consisting of 7 islands, and achieved inexhaustible, unlimited opulence and prosperity on earth. Although such a position is rarely obtained, Mahârâja Ambarîsha did not care for it at all, for he knew very well that such opulence is material. like that which is imagined in a dream, such opulence will ultimately be destroyed. The king knew that any non-devotee who attains such opulence merges increasingly into material nature's mode of darkness. Purport: for a devotee, material opulence is insignificant, whereas for a non-devotee, material opulence is the cause of increasing bondage. For a devotee knows that anything material is temporary, whereas a non-devotee regards the temporary so-called happiness as everything and forgets the path of self-realization. Thus, for the non-devotee, material opulence is a disqualification for spiritual advancement. Thank you, Prabhuji. Back to you.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you so much. You have any comments, additions?
Prabhuji, when I read this purport, I reminded about what you say: simple living, high thinking. So, as a devotee, we should always keep our, like Ambarîsha Mahârâja was, he had everything. He was blessed with everything, but he knew that if he enjoys all that, he will be attached to it. There is bondage, but that was not his goal. He had everything, but Kṛṣṇa was his ultimate goal. To please Kṛṣṇa was his ultimate goal. So when we start having all these kinds of, like when I start having kinds of, like, these material attachments, I'll be mostly worried about that. I mean, when you come, we'll say, Prabhuji, we want to do the lawn, we want to do that, this. But we are so much attached to the lawn, it's everything like that. So I think we should keep our living very simple and think about the purpose. And Prabhuji, today in this contest, my grandmother passed away 10 days back. You know that she had everything, Prabhuji. She had money. She had like a husband who took very, very good care of her. She had 3 sons. But when she died, nothing went with her. Everything she left back. I mean, she's the only death I have seen so close. Like in my 30 years, I have seen her alone. I didn't see anybody. So, some things really strike. Nothing comes with us. Just the bhakti will come with us. I'm sorry for talking so long. Thank you, Bhagavad. Back to you.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you for sharing. We all pray that your grandmother will certainly attain the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, and you are such a nice devotee. Chakrika, Shira, Ekant Prabhu, all of you are such nice, wonderful Vaishnava family. And Nrsingadev tells to Prahlad Maharaj that anyone connected to devotee in any way will get spiritual benefit. So your grandmother, of course, she was also a very spiritual soul. But you have all taken to the next level of following this pure path of pure unalloyed bhakti. So Krishna will certainly take care. Or Nrsingadev will certainly take care. And by remembering Shri Radha and Krishna, this is everything good will manifest. I was just hearing today morning, Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj was mentioning, that we cry about relatives who have passed away, which is natural for a common person. But the real cry should be for Shri Radha and Krishna, Shri Gaur-Nitāy, that we have forgotten to take shelter of them. Very deep. We just, one devotee just shares like 30-second audio messages, but they're very deep. The real cry should be that we have forgotten to remember to take shelter of Shri Radha Krishna, Shri Gaur-Nitāy. Then there will be no more sorrow in life. Then one will not be attached to material wealth. Material wealth is a big distraction actually. Kunti Maharani also says, Janmashwara Shuta Shribi Edamana Manapuma Neva Bharti Avidhatum Vai Tvam akinchana gocharam. High birth, knowledge, wealth, name, fame, recognition, beauty, these often become a disqualification, because then someone cannot call out to the Lord from heart. Akinchana. Akinchana means kinchana, one who has nothing else to take shelter of. Oh, my bank balance will save me. Oh, my relatives will save me. Oh, my followers will save me. Oh, my XYZ thing will save me. My insurance will save me. But ultimately, there is only one savior. That's Kṛṣṇa. So here, Shukdev Goswami is mentioning the same thing. So much wealth he had. Imagine, the king of 7 islands. We don't even know the name of 7 islands. What does he talk about? Talking about the size of these 7 islands. These are not just a tiny city or Tampa in the Florida in the earth. These are Jambu Dweep, Simant Dweep, and so many Dweep are there. Jambu Dweep and is the first one, and then there are different oceans and different like concentric circles, which we have read in Canto 5. They are much bigger. Ambarîsha Maharaj was ruling all these 7 islands. Can we imagine? We can't even imagine. But still, he was not attached to that wealth. Same like his father. So what was he attached to? Let's see. Anyone who has not read text wants to read text 17? Nayan Prabhu, you want to read? Anyone wants to? Manjulali, you want to?
Can you read?
Yeah, I can't, Prabhu. Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. Vasudeve Bhagavati Tadbhakteshu cha Sadashu Prapto Bhavam Param Vishwam Yenedham Los Swarat Spratam. Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Mahârâja Ambarîsha was a great devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vasudeva and of the saintly persons who are Lord's devotees. Because of this devotion, he thought of the entire universe as being as insignificant as a piece of stone. Thank you very much.
Any comments, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu, I mean, in front of the devotion, which I think we are talking the same thing. These all material opulences are nothing in front of the devotion. And that's exactly the position of Ambarîsha Mahârâja. He's at a stage where he understands what is a true value, and what it will come with us, and what we are. And so that's how we are able to see that entire universe as nothing but a piece of stone. Except bhakti towards Vasudeva is what he really aspires for.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Very deep verse to meditate upon. What was he attached to? Vasudeve Bhagavati. Unto the devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Not just the Supreme Lord, but Tad Bhakteshu, unto his devotees, Kṛṣṇa. Guruve Gaurachandraya, Radhikaya Tadalaya, Kṛṣṇāya Kṛṣṇa Bhaktaya, Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namah. We also sing this verse. So Tad Bhakteshu, unto his devotees, Cha Sadhushu, unto the saintly people. Guru, Sadhu, Vaishnavas. Because Krishna is more pleased, which we will come later also, when one renders bhakti to his devotees. One who says, Krishna, I'm your devotee, is actually not a devotee of Krishna. One who says, Krishna, I'm the servant of your servant, is actually more dear to Krishna. Mad bhakta pujyadika. What did he have? Prapta bhavam paramam vishwam. So he had the whole world, but what did he think like? The entire universe was like a piece of stone. On the roadside, we see so many pieces of stone. Do we feel like picking them or doing something about them? We just ignore them like trash. But if someone sees gold coins, will anyone treat them as trash and just keep moving? No, everyone will want to pick them and get them, or see it's like $100 bill or whatever. No one will ignore them. But this person, this great personality, Ambarîsha Mahârâja, the entire world means everything inside as well. The gold, the pearls, the rubies, the women, the palaces, and everything and anything and everything inside it. It was like stone-like. That means he was not attached to that. Rather, he was attached to Krishna, his devotees, and the sadhus. So, such an amazing lesson. Vasudevi Bhagavati Tad Bhakteshu Cha Sadhushu Prapto Bhavam Param Vishwam Yenedam Lotstravat Smritam. We can ponder upon this verse, which is very, very deep. Anyone else has any other comments, any additions or thoughts or questions?
Hare Krishna.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I want to just share one story about Sanatana Goswami. I think most of you may know. One time there was a Brahman who was actually worshipping Lord Shiva for material gain. And then Lord Shiva came to his dream and told him that, but you go to Sanatana Goswami. He has the highest material things. So that Brahmana came to Sanatana Goswami and told him that Lord Shiva sent me to you, that you have the most highest material things you have. And Sanatana Goswami had a touchstone actually, which actually, if it touched the iron, it becomes gold. So he kept it in his behind his heart in a pile of like garbage, and he told that person that, why didn't you go and get it from there? It's there. So that person, he got that. And then he was leaving the place, and then he was very happy that he's going to get more gold right now. Then suddenly he thought that what Sanatana Goswami has, that he is not giving me, he's giving me this one, which is he kept it in the garbage. And he came back to Sanatana Goswami and asked him, what do you have that you left that touchstone even in the garbage? So then Sanatana Goswami asked him to throw this stone in the Jamuna and then ask him to take bath, and initiated him with Hare Krishna Mahantra. So I just wanted to share that story. Hare Krishna, Prabhu, back to you.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. This is so inspiring. Even Dhruva Maharaj also, same thing, right? He said, I was looking for broken pieces of glasses, but having your darshan is like getting the diamond. So basically, bhakti is like diamond. And what he was looking for, a kingdom greater than his great-grandfather, Brahma. So a self-realized person, a pure soul who understands this, who has that realization, does not run after material wealth, name, fame, followers, adhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam, va jagadisha kamai, mama janmani janmanishwari bhavatad bhakti rahetu kitvai. Please give me the bhakti, the devotion unto you, my Lord, unto your devotees, Vasudevi Bhagavati. That's what Lord Chaitanya is asking for. That bhakteshu cha sadhushu. So unto Krishna and his devotees. That is the real thing we should ask for. Birth after birth, birth after birth. Krishna, please always help me to engage in loving devotional service. Okay. Anything else before we stop for today? So tomorrow maybe we'll read one of the many important verses which are very, very often quoted by Srila Prabhupada. Sevaya mana Krishna padaravindayo. A series of 3 verses. We will see this tomorrow. Very, very deep verses. How Ambarîsha Mahârâja engaged all his body, all his limbs, all his senses, including mind, in the service of the Supreme Lord, Shri Hari, Shri Krishna. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Purana ki jai, Shri Ambarîsha Mahārāja ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Gaura Bhaktavinda ki jai. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.